Hello, I'm Rodney Meyer. I'm a film director and writer. I do horror pictures and full feature films. One of my actresses was telling me about her life story, the tragedies she's gone through with her son and other incidents with her life. And so I asked her to make a documentary. So here it is. Thank you for watching.
My name is Brenda, and I'm talking about my son, Kadarius. Um, he was a very loving, caring, sweet young man. As he was growing up, he was very shy. He was a mother's baby boy. He always wanted to stay up under me at all times. He never did want to leave my side. Um, he loved to sing. He liked to holler, scream. Um, he loved his social media. The phones. He loved phones. I mean, he had 2 and 3 phones, and oh my God, I wasn't understanding him. But he had 2 and 3 phones. He loved computers. He loved to draw. Um, he was an outgoing young man. Uh, Very nice, sweet. Get along with anybody. I don't care who it is. It can be someone on the street. He would want to stop and, he try to buy him something to eat or help him. I remember one particular time where he asked me to stop for a homeless young man about his age at the time. I think he was about 14, and a young man needed a shirt and some shoes, and he took his shirt off and he took his shoes off, and he gave it to him. Made me start crying. Um, and right after that, him and this young man became very close friends. Um, he loved to keep peace with everyone. He didn't like to fuss. He didn't like to argue. If anything like that come towards him, he always put his ear plugs in, or whatever you call them these days. He always put them in, and it kind of just blank him out. He's not trying to hear nothing until all the commotion is gone. Um, he did like to throw parties, and he did enjoy um, having fun. He loved to go to football games, um, basketball games, track. Um, he was just an encouraging young man. Um, very just just very outgoing.
How was he in school growing up?
In school, he got along with everyone. Everybody he got along with. He loved to go to school. He loved school. If you can find him nowhere else, he was right there at school. I used to get in trouble all the time just to stay at school. Um, he he got along with his teachers, his friends. Very well respected. Very respected. Um, just outgoing. Just pretty much.
How many girlfriends do you
Uh,
have?
I'm not gonna say he had no girlfriends, but he had a lot of girls wanting to talk to him. And that was one of the things that kept me laughing all the time, because see, he get his girlfriend and he want to come in and like, you're not the way, are you? I said, well, it's depending. And he said, well, I sure want to introduce you to him. So he'll pretty much bring a few girls over, but he never did date them. He always said it was his friend, so I just had to put up with what he told me.
16. How did the accident happen?
It happened when he was going to his grandmother home. He was with his 4 cousins, and they was crossing over the railroad track. The four cousins was, and he was the last one. When he crossed the railroad track, crossed the train, crossed over the train, and his pants leg got caught up under there. Once his pants leg got caught up under there, the train start moving forward. Once it started moving forward, it cut his toes off, or popped his toes off, and start dragging him up under the train.
He went under the train?
He went under the train, yes,
Oh my God.
yes. And my nephew seen him going under the train, so he pretty much jumped up under there. The train wasn't going that fast. When he jumped up under there, he pulled him, and once he pulled him, his feet was hanging on by a thread. So once he pulled him up and up under there, they stood him up, and all his blood rushed out, except one pain. They finally rushed him to the hospital. Once they rushed him to the hospital, my daughter seen his leg laying on the railroad track. She picked it up and she ran to the hospital. Once she got it to the hospital, they threw his foot in a bucket. Once they threw it in a bucket, they left him sitting in the emergency room for hours. And then after so many hours, they took him on to the back. They seen that they couldn't do anything with it, so they rushed him to the hospital in Dallas. Once they rushed him to the hospital in Dallas, then they started proceeding in trying to save my son.
How long did it take him to recover from the accident?
It took him 2 months and 3 days
2 months and
to
3 days.
recover.
Did he have a prosthetic leg?
Yeah, he had a prosthetic leg.
What was his attitude and stuff when he came out?
Well, when he first came out, he thought all of his friends was going to turn against him. He didn't think that they was going to like him or anything like that. But once he got out and went back to school, everybody they came to
Just
him.
flocked to him. Yeah.
Yes.
That's good.
It was like they showed so much love for him. Made me cry. Made me cry. But they showed so much love for him once he appeared back in school.
So how was he in school? I mean, before and after the accident?
He was a class clown. He was a class clown. He loved to make jokes. He liked to basically he liked to be happy and keep everybody else happy that's around him. Very friendly, outgoing, outspoken, very nice, respectful, and everybody enjoyed him. They loved him to death.
What about his grades in school and stuff?
He was a straight A student.
Was he able to keep that after the accident?
Yes, sir.
Very good.
Yes, he
Go, guy.
was.
Didn't you say that he got in with a bad crowd or something like that?
Yeah, he got in with a bad crowd, but the bad crowd was like, I mean, it wasn't drugs or anything involved in it. They always wanted to party, have parties and things like that. And that is what escalated into his death, the parties.
Why would you say that?
Because he never was like that. You know, once his new appearance, let me see how I can say it.
Do you think it sort of changed him a little bit?
Yeah, and it made him a lot stronger and wiser, but it also made him make poor decisions. That's what I want to say. And the decision that he made, that was a poorly decision that he made, um, in throwing all these parties. He threw all the parties, and then the friends, I guess, the drinking and all that. He didn't drink, he didn't use drugs, but his friends did.
So, do you think he was throwing these parties to just get more accepted, or stuff
No,
like that?
I think he threw the parties just, I know he was graduating. He was going to graduate that following year. He just wanted to have fun. That's it. But not knowing that it would escalate something bigger than what it was. He just wanted to have fun, and I don't think it had anything to do with it being accepted, because he was one of the most popular boys uh, in school. So it was just, I guess, just being happy.
Being
Just,
a kid.
yeah,
Yeah.
like any other normal
Yeah.
kid.
Well, with him, I mean, I could only imagine he's probably just feeling lucky to be alive at that point, after the train accident.
Yeah.
Because you can only imagine what he had to go through on that.
Yes.
So his attitude to me would probably be, it's like, what else can you do to me? I'm
Yes.
I'm here to have a good time.
Yes.
So how did the parties lead to his passing and stuff?
He started, well, like I said, he started having parties and everything, inviting, all of his friends or whatnot. And it started off like real, like just school age kids, just not that many people was coming. Okay, he started going on social media, putting himself out there, saying that he was having parties or whatnot. So every weekend he will call, get on social media, and let everyone know that he's having parties or whatnot. Well, this one particular day, which was December the uh, 30th, December the 30th, he was having a party, and his friends had asked him to go to Walmart and pick up some items, some things. He got in there the first time, and they drove off real fast. He got scared after he got to Walmart, and he didn't get back in there. His sister came and picked him up, and she got him back home. Well, that second time, after the young man had came back over to the house, he asked him again. He said, let's go out and get some more things, I guess DJs and all that stuff like that for the party. And my son was saying, "You're not going to drive fast?" He was like, "No, I'm not going to drive fast." So they did what they had to, do. And on the way back, that's when the incident happened.
And what would that be?
The young man lost control of the vehicle. And he was supposed to have been thrown 3 feet in the air. The trucks rolled over him, broke his bones in his body. He had a couple of pipes that went in his head.
Was they speeding? I mean, what was the cause of the accident? Did they ever say?
Speeding.
Just speeding, lost control.
Lost control, yes.
Was he intoxicated or something like that?
No. No. The 2 young men, they survived. The only one passed away was my son.
Were they affected in the accident, the 2?
No. Just a little bruised up. But my son was damaged pretty bad. really pretty bad. Right after everything had happened, I had a lot of family members start calling me, and they said, "Well, your son passed away," and I'm like, "No, he haven't. Quit calling my phone and leave me alone, because I just talked to him a couple of hours ago. No, he didn't pass away. He passed away in a car wreck." No, I said, "No, don't call my phone no more, because he's not dead." And then I got some more people a few hours after that. Well, Brenda, your son has been killed. I said, "No, he haven't." I said, "Don't call my phone. No, he haven't." Well, right after that, the officer showed up at my door and told me that it was a car wreck and it was my son. It wasn't too far from my house. It was probably like maybe 2 or 3 minutes. It was in walking distance. I can walk up there and see him. He was just laying there. He had a smile on his face, like, I'm not in no pain or anything like that anymore. And they came and got him and took him to the funeral home. The next day I went up there, and they brought him out, and they still had the sheet over his face, and told me, they said, "Now, the way you seen him um, laying out on the street, he's not going to look the same." And when they pulled him back, he wasn't the same.
You actually looked. Did you look at him?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I broke all the way down.
Yeah, I've had to do that, and I sort of wish I wouldn't have. I mean, because you want to remember them, but
Yeah.
still.
Once we went to the funeral home, got the arrangements set up and everything, January the 5th was the day of his burial. And it was so many people, I can't tell you how many people it was. The whole church was packed, inside and outside. So when they got everyone in the church, I was the last one to come in. And once I got in and walked a few steps down towards his casket, I froze up. It was like I wanted to just run up there and just grab him out of there, But got there, and I just stood there and it was like a dream. It was like a dream to me. Like, how can this be? Me looking at my son in a casket. It was awful. So when we got through with the funeral, we went to the grave. Once we got to the grave, and I started walking where they were going to bury him, I started talking to God, and I told God, I said, he's once again back in your hands. You lended him to me for just a little while, and now I have to give him back to you. And I walked on up, and they sat me down, and I sat there just watching his casket. And again I said, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. And he's back in your hands again, Lord. And I thank you for lending him to me and giving me a chance to know a remarkable young man as my son. And I thank you. They start lowering him down in the ground. I was just speechless. I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that I was there at that site watching them lower my son down in the grave. Once they got finished, I stood there until they got finished lowering them down, got back in the car. I said, I don't know what to do after this. I really don't. I don't know which way my life going to take me. And he said, well, I have a surprise for you. And I said, what kind of surprise? He said, well, I can't tell you the surprise, but I got a surprise for you, and I got something to tell you at graduation. And I said, okay. But he never got to tell me. The only thing I knew after that, I got his graduation pictures through the mail, where he wanted to present them to me as being the most caring and supportive mother for him, and a mother that stood by his side through thick and thin, didn't leave his side at all. How it how long it took me to pretty much get over him. It took me 4 years to get over him. I still think about him all the time. Sometimes I walk through the house and cry. Um, I used to couldn't look at his pictures. I couldn't have his pictures up. Um, Anything that had to do with him, I couldn't deal with it. Any kind of food, any kind of music, I couldn't deal with it at all. But I finally got past it. I finally got past it. Uh, I don't know. Mainly I just kept my mind on God and let God direct me, and keep me focused. He kept me focused for 4 years, and the thing that saved me was my 3 grandchildren. That was the things that was the three that saved me, because I wanted to give up. I really did. And if it hadn't been for my grandchildren coming in, hollering over me and telling me to get up, Granny, get up, because they always see me with a smile on my face, and I'm always joking. But that day, they came in and jumped on my bed and told me to get up, and one of the grandbabies went and got a warm towel and put it over my face and said, please get up, get up. And that what got me, because I didn't want them to see me like that anymore. And so after that, I pretty much said, well, I'm not going to let this get me down anymore. I got to get out and, and do other things. And I did. I started talking to other people about my situation, and every day it just got easier and easier for me by me talking and getting all of this weight off of me. That's the main thing that really completed my life. And then another thing that I did to get me through all my trials and tribulations, I've written a book called My Darkest Hour. And this book is basically talking about my darkest hour, all the darkness that I had in my life, going through all the trials and tribulations with my son, and how I got past, um, how I got past, no, this, how I got past his death. It also talks about the experience that I went through. All the scars and hardships, all the lonely days and nights I had to go without him.
What was the age he passed?
16.
He was so all that happened within that year.
Within this year. Within that year,
Oh
yes.
wow, I didn't. Wow.
Yes.
Man, that was a tough year.
But once I'd written my book, it was like everything that was on my shoulder, it came off. It was like a weight came off of me, and I felt a lot better. I was at ease. I could sleep better now. It's just I feel like a new person now since I've gotten all this off my shoulder. It's like, you know, I can live my life now, and I can go on and I can motivate someone else that's been in the same situation that I've been in, or is going through the same thing that I'm going through.
So, what would your advice be to someone similar to what you've gone through?
My advice would be to take one day at a time and to enjoy life. If you do have children, to love them, protect them, care for them, make sure harm don't come to them. In my situation, my grandkids was my thing, to get me through my hard times and my hardships. They made my life more easier for me to get past my son's tragedies. So now I'm basically just, I'm just happy now. Just I'm real happy that I've got this behind me and I can move forward. So all the ones that's going through what I'm going through, I have been through, I just want to let you know that you can get past this. And it's going to be hard, but by the grace of God, you will get past it. You won't forget it, but you can still keep moving on.
We hope that this video can help a lot of people who's been through hard and troubled times just like her. You can progress, you can go on. You don't forget, but you can move on. Thank you for watching.